there's a disparity, in my opinion, between HR and marketing and um, managers, and I think a lot of the boilerplate, you require 5 years or 10 years experience, and you have these degrees and certifications, and um, I think that there is a disparity. And
Right.
from my perspective, I had a former manager who ended up he has 20 years experience, and he ended up applying for a different job, and it was at one of the major airlines, and they wanted him, but HR basically said, no, you can't, we can't hire you because you don't have a degree in
Oh,
IT, anything IT. And so it's like you look at something like that and you think, wow, you're missing an opportunity for such a great candidate who brings
right.
20 years experience. And I think that it's not even just on an entry level perspective, but also there's just a disparity in general with the expectations for cybersecurity recruitment compared to what's actually going on underneath.
For sure, for sure. And I think that's a great segue into the next section of today's conversation, and that is those educational pathways, those resources to start getting into the space, right? Because, you know, I, cybersecurity is very much a knowledge focused field. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just having the knowledge. You have to be able to apply it. You have to be able to recognize, attack chains and patterns and, you know, I, it's a vast field as well too, because I mean, you know, what I'm thinking of off the top of my head is social engineering. Social engineering is not a cybersecurity specific thing. That's more of like a psychology background, right? So I mean, that's where it gets interesting. And we kind of talked to the vastness of the space a little bit earlier. But when we look at the different pathways, and I know you'll expand on this a little bit. Really, it comes down to I see it come down to two different methods for getting into the space in most conversations, right? Like the pathway that you went through, the more university-based routes, go through an official degree program. And I have to imagine you probably tack some certifications on top of that as well. And then there's more of like the hands-on guy in the trenches, you know, work his way up the corporate ladder type of thing. And it's interesting because you've got the university side of it covered. I went the other route. I straight out of high school, I did some college, and I don't know, I just was not wired for university. Like I've always been a very hands-on learner. Like I wanted to get out there and start doing stuff. And so I ended up, thankfully, to my good luck, I had the opportunity to go work and do IT for a Fortune 50 manufacturing company, and I learned a ton. But it worked out for me. It doesn't work that way for everyone. So I realize I'm very fortunate that it worked out for me that way. And but yeah, those are traditionally the two methods, right? And either way that you go, I think with this field specifically, is regardless of the way you go, you have to be driven to learn. Because as we know with our field, it changes almost daily in some cases, right? And I feel like that cadence of change has increased over the years, right?